Kristina the Krystal Tkach, a name that commands respect across the global stage. A world champion, a 13-time European champion, and the current #1 on the WPBA Tour. Calm under pressure, precise in execution. In an era of elite talent, she remains at the top.
Welcome back, everybody. Touching on our title sponsor real briefly, it's J Flowers Cues. Go to jflowerscues.com. They have the best jump cues, the best break cues, the best playing cues, and the best cases in the industry. Leading the charge right now with the lowest deflection on the market, it's jflowerscues.com. Welcome, everybody, to the Boom and Freezer Show. That is my partner, Bobby Boom, and we have a special guest, Kristina Tkach, aka the Krystal. You know what, Kristina? I have a question for you. You won a major tournament not long ago. Was it at Iron City?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show. I just want to make sure I had it in my notes, and I want to make sure Bobby's probably got a thing or two to say to you. But thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Kristina, I want to say thanks for joining us on the show. We really appreciate it. And it's great to see you.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Let's talk a little bit. Did you just move recently? Are you in Florida now, full time, pretty much? Miami Beach or right around Miami?
A little north. It's Aventura area. It's next to Sunny Isles.
You're playing a little bit at your guy, of course, Dave Bartosiak, right? Classic Players. Is that where you're shooting out of mainly now, or are you playing different rooms?
Yeah.
Of course, shout out Dave Bartosiak. So you practicing every day there, or is that where you go to shoot most of the time?
Yes. I to be honest, I haven't been in any other pool room in Miami yet. So it's been like 3 months I'm living here. I only shoot there, and I give all my lessons there, and I really love this place. They make me feel like home. So yeah.
How far is your drive? How far is your commute from where you live to Dave's room?
It's not
Depending on
close.
Okay.
Yeah, depending on traffic here is rough. I can tell that. And on a weekdays, it takes probably around 40 minutes to get there and an hour to get back. On a
Okay.
weekend, it's 30 and 40 back, around that. It's not terrible. I
Right.
listen to a lot of podcasts on the way there and back, so time flies by.
Sure. Awesome.
Listen, I know you started like right around 16 years ago. When did you really start playing pool? How old were you? And tell us a little bit about how your career started, or even how you found the game. Tell us a little bit about that.
I started when I was 8, and I started because of my dad. He was playing Russian Pyramid back home in Russia, and one day he just took me with him to the pool room, and I wanted to try, but I was so short. Not like I'm not short now, but I wasn't even shorter when I was a kid, and I couldn't reach the table because it's the same height as snooker table. It's the same size and more or less the same, same size. So I couldn't reach the table, and that's why they suggested me to try on a pool table. And I still couldn't reach it, but my dad built a little wooden platform for me so I can walk around the table. And this is how I started.
Like carrying that little platform like everywhere you went to shoot, like around the table, and just get up on it and shoot.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, but usually when I was practicing, I was doing a lot of straight in shots or like just the certain shots, and my dad would just put a platform for the shot and basically was move for the whole session. So yeah, I was just practicing a lot of straight in shots like maniacs.
How much taller is a snooker table than a 9-foot table? Do you know?
I
I
have
didn't.
no idea.
It is taller, and I'm curious. That would be interesting to know because I played some snooker, but I think it's probably like 5 or 6 inches taller, substantially taller. So that's interesting. I never thought about that. It's kind of interesting.
Mhm.
so now you're on a step stool or makeshift ramp, if you want to call it, right? And you're shooting balls in, and then how does it turn into this? Like, did you just I like the sport, or your dad pushed you into it, or kind of a little bit of both? you're playing competition early on?
I did play competition early on, and I remember playing my first competition. It was Moscow Championships Junior, and I got third in straight pool. And everyone was like, "Wow!" Because I was just 8, and I just played like half a year at that point, and I was already like making bowls very solid. Because my dad, like obviously back then it was not a lot of material, like open materials for pool coaching. So my dad was like looking at the articles about snooker, and tried to coach me a snooker stroke, basically. And that's why my fundamentals was like super solid already, and I was making a lot of balls, so everyone was like, "Oh, she's a upcoming world champion," and blah blah blah. So I can't say I really chose the sport myself, because I think I was very open about it in many podcasts that like my dad kind of pushed me into the sport, and it's very unusual, I think, for pool, because most of pool players started because they were in love with the game and they were so passionate about it, and uh, and I'm absolutely different. I don't think I ever loved the game. Like I was 8 years old.
Sure.
I was
Yeah.
into like dancing when I was in school. Like early on, I was doing some like dancing. I was doing some gymnastics. So I was more into that than pool. It was absolutely unpopular game in Russia. So he pushed me into that and kind of projected some of his ambitions on me, because he was a professional athlete, like a judo fighter back in the days as well. And this is how it been going for years until I probably turned like 15, 16. I think it was my turning point, where I won Women European Championships, which is kind of like a big deal, because back then Jasmine was playing and lots of great players were playing. And to me, as a 16 years old kid, winning Women European Championships meant that I'm actually capable of competing with women as well. And I got scholarship from my federation, so I was making decent money already as a 16 years old kid. And back then I thought, okay, well, if I can compete amongst women and go for tournaments and win them, maybe I have a shot to be professional. And then this year I won couple year tours. I think I won 3 year tours in a row. And it was also kind of a big deal because nobody really done that before. So I just had this huge wave of, success basically in Europe. And this, I think, gave me a lot more motivation to practice and something to look forward, because I started traveling a lot more all over the world. And it was always one of my biggest dreams, especially travel by myself, where my parents not, babysitting me, and I can be a full adult traveling and also making money and meeting people around, really around the world. So I think this was my turning point when I was 16, where I really felt like, okay, if I put more effort, not because I'm forced to, but because I want to do that. Now I had this competitiveness in me where I want to win. I hate losing, because I already built whatsoever name in like European community, and I kind of felt like now it's my dream.
I have a question, Christina. That's awesome. That's actually really interesting, by the way. So, you don't have to answer this. You didn't mention your mother. Were your mother and father separated? Was she in your life? If you don't want to answer
No,
that, you don't have to. No big deal.
they are married, and I always had my my mom. It's just, yeah, really weird that I never bring my mom's name, because she is absolutely not pool related. And to be honest, first of all, in Russia we have big patriarchate, right? I'm not sure if I pronounced it right.
What, what's
Where
that?
like
Say it again. What's that called?
like patriarchate,
Okay.
where the man is like the head of a family, and
Okay.
like very traditional roles and stuff like that. So um because of that, like my dad wanted me to play, and I'm not saying my mom didn't have a say about it, but kind of like that.
Sure.
So I spent majority of my childhood with my dad because of that, because I would go to school, he would pick me up, we would go practice, I would come back home, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 p.m., do my homework and go to sleep. And this was my
So
whole
long
life pretty
days,
much till
right? Those are long days
yes.
as a child, right? I mean, you really, you're not missing out, but you're not seeing your friends as much, or you're not doing the stuff that the average kid your age is doing, right? You're literally,
I didn't have almost any of that. I'll be honest, like I never went out with my friends, you know. That's why school was so fun for me, because it was something else where I could actually talk to kids, hang out. I don't have to like try my best to, you know, do some drills and stuff like that, where I can just be myself, I guess. And, you know, so yeah, my mom, she was just there. She was a big support, obviously, where, you know, me and my dad fought. I always go to my mom and cry and like stuff like that. So she definitely was one of the biggest support in my life as well. But when it comes to pool, it's all my dad. You know, my mom was never part of it, really.
Did you ever give your dad any pushback, like kind of like you didn't want to go, you didn't want to do it from 8, 9, 10 years old?
Well, I don't think you realize how
How it
um
is, how it was.
raising kids, yeah, raising kids in Russia, like it's
Uh-huh.
not like America.
Right.
It's very Eastern, more like Eastern culture than Western, even though we look like
yep.
Western, like
Sure.
Russian people. But I think when it comes to mentality and how family is built and society is built, it's very Eastern, like Chinese culture, where you don't really fight with your parents. Like you don't talk back. You
Right.
Don't
don't
question them, right?
do
You don't
stuff.
question them.
No, because you know, like punishments will come.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Right?
why
So
I asked. I wanted to hear that I had an
I
idea that's
was,
what happens over there. Yeah.
yeah, I was scared of my dad for the longest time. And this is why like I couldn't say no. But I quit pool actually for a year at the age of 12, I think. I haven't played the whole year because I was so, you know, I was so done with all of that and constant fighting. And you know, it was, you know, I'm trying not to, you know, talk like that, but it was, I had a tough childhood.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
tough, not like, I always had a roof over my head. I always had the best food, the best conditions to grow, you know, because if I compare my childhood to Filipino childhood, you know, I
Sure.
can hardly say it was tough, but it was tough in different way, mentally tough. And you know, where you're basically forced into something you don't even know if I want it, because I never had a chance to explore something else. That's why when people say, oh, what other hobbies do you have outside of playing pool, I'm like, I don't know, I've been playing pool my entire life. I never had a chance to go and explore something else. But in that period of time when I didn't play pool, I've tried everything. Like I went to playing like theater, like different plays. I was going to music lessons. I was taking French. I was doing all of those things that I've been missing out you know, because I never had time to do anything else. And I was always a curious child, but I just never had a chance to try something else. So I'm not trying to say, hey, like I had a terrible childhood, but it was tough, you know.
Sure.
So I really could never say no, I don't want to do something, because it was never even a question, do you want to do that?
I think that's now, right? I know you still have a relationship with your dad. He travels with you a lot of places, right? And obviously,
Yes.
it worked because you're number one in the world, right? Right there. Well, how is your relationship with him now? And do you follow his lead a lot still, or do you kind of like do your own thing now? Do you your own stand on your own 2 feet completely?
Yeah, well, now it's completely different. First of all, I've grown a lot and matured over years, and he grown a lot and matured over the years. And he really, really changed a lot about his mindset and who he is as a person. And he works a lot on himself. Like he doesn't work with a therapist, obviously, but he's just constantly like reading stuff and just a lot of thinking. And same with me, but I am going to therapy and basically doing the same thing. So our relationships just changed tremendously, even though he's still my coach, like coach, where he can like watch my games and say, hey, I maybe my suggestion you might fix here and here, or pay attention on this detail. But it's more like just a mental support. Like we're really close right now, and we can talk about anything. And he's been, especially for the past like half a year of my life, like one of the biggest support. And even though right now I am standing on my feet, like myself, I support myself financially, and all my life here, it's I built by myself. Um, but he's still kind of like this person I will always call and take advice before I make any important decisions. Like I never make any important decisions without talking to my dad first and making sure that I'm making the right decision. And then like I can make decision myself, but I just want to hear second opinion. And I've always been like that, I think.
Kristina, let's just, I guess, address the elephant in the room. I know Bobby wanted to do that as well, but you just mentioned the last half a year. Obviously, the whole world knows you dated Federgorst, world number one, great player, and we didn't delve into your personal lives. You guys stayed pretty private, and I think that that's smart for the most part. But first off, in my opinion, I think it's great that you have a father like that. My father was very constructive. He was military. He was pretty hard on me, but I think that's great. There's nothing wrong with where you're at there. Did he have a big role in kind of like, holding you through the process, or helping you through the process with you and Feder?
Well, for sure, because I ended up by myself in America. It's very scary as an immigrant, and it was definitely very, very tough mentally to just, start over again without any
Sure.
support. So yeah, he even though he were like 10,000 miles away from me, but it helped tremendously.
Awesome. I can tell just by looking at you and listening to you, the relationship you have with your dad is super, super special. And that's something that's very important. I know he's very proud of you. And that's all you can say about that. I mean, it's a great job. I
Agreed.
only see big things coming. So Scott did mention the Fedor, right? I know you posted it on your page that you guys are no longer a couple, the power couple, of billiards. Do you have a relationship at all with Fedor? Is it cordial, or you know, you can throw it out there, and you don't even have to speak on it if you don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, we're not enemies or anything like that. It's still very tough to talk about it because I
Of
think
course.
it's the biggest strategy when both people love each other, but they can find the way to be together, and it just doesn't work out because it's just not the right place and not the right time anymore. And yeah, I have nothing, I have no hard feelings. I wish him only the best, and I sincerely will always be supporting him. And it's you can scratch out someone who's been part of your life for 5 years, and he's been also my biggest support, and we've built together a big life in America. So yeah, we don't really talk a lot, but I think we both know that we support each other, and there's no harsh feelings.
I think that's obviously great. Here's something I wanted to touch on. So when I moved to Phoenix, and this is, I don't know how many years ago now, but Angel Pagula was a professional pool player at the time, and all I'm getting at here is I don't think people, and she was playing on the women's tour. I don't think people understand how difficult it is, to maintain a relationship. Number one, but with all the traveling you do, with all the traveling Feder does, all the attention that's going on in every which way, and then for you guys to even find time for yourselves, let alone being together, but even just a phone call oftentimes can start to slip by. And when you're both doing the same thing at such a high level, I don't know how to explain it, but it's not what people probably perceive it to be. It's not easy. At least it wasn't for us. And so I commend you for what you've gone through, and I think that you're both on the right path, and you'll both get through it, and it's a good thing. I think whatever happens is supposed to happen.
Yeah, you're right. And as you said, it's very tough, and you both have to be fighting for this to work out, and you both have to not take things for granted, and like realize that you have to put a lot of effort into making this work, and relationships is a two-way street. And it's also, I think, because of therapy and just, I don't know, maybe I was born the way to think the way I think generally about life. um we just, our mindset and our goals and understanding the life, and like not just, hey, who's going to do the dishes, like
Sure.
questioning much bigger things, which I always had that in me, like questioning purpose of my life and questioning very deep things in a very, very early age, which been blessing and a curse in the same time, because I outgrew very fast a lot of my, friends or lovers, right? Outgrew mentally, and I was seeking for much deeper, something much deeper, and just our maturity level didn't match anymore, and which is very sad, because again, when you love each other, it's really rough to to move on. So
Of course.
but
Yeah.
it's obviously it's not easy to be both of when both of you are professional athletes. It's really tough, and it takes a lot of maturity and, I don't know, emotional maturity to realize that it's not going to be maintained by itself. Like you have to put a lot of effort in, like a plant. Like you plant it and then you water it all the time. Otherwise, it's going to die. So
Very well
that's
said.
what, yeah,
What you were talking about earlier with your dad, he's still learning, right? You said he's still trying to get better. And like Scott and I talk about this all the time. He tries to make himself uncomfortable all the time, every day, just to learn as a person and do better. And we all have to do that. And I think that's what you're saying is, we're trying to get better and learn and always progress, right?
correct.
And we'll move on. We'll move
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
You
Let's
did
talk. Let's talk a
you,
little
you
about.
did very good there.
Yeah, you're awesome. You're awesome. All right, let's talk a little bit about pool now. Obviously, you have the competitiveness of a champion. You are a champion. I know. Let's talk a little bit about 2024. I know that was kind of your toughest year as probably a professional, right? To get over the hump and do what you were doing. Can you talk a little about that year before the world title? Talk a little bit about you were coming in second so many times, right? You were so close so many times, and you just never gave up. Can you talk about that?
Yes, I think it's definitely been an important year in my career, because I've also changed so much in my mentality, so much into how I perceive the sport and my career, and again, my life. A lot of things I've reconsidered. And when you said that, I never gave up, but it's not how I see it, because um, I just generally view it differently. Like after losing a couple times in the finals, like me and my dad talked a lot about it, and we were talking about how, like, if you believe in God or universe or whatever it is out there, right? That something is um, building you into someone you have to become, and challenge you, and getting you ready for the challenge that you will have to face eventually, right? And having a blind belief, because obviously it's, how would you prove, is there a God or is there a universe or whatever it is? It's just a blind belief that I'm, it's my destiny, and I have to face those challenging challenges, because I believe that everything happens to you happens for a reason. So there is a
Absolutely.
reason why I lose every single time, and obviously sometimes I mess up myself, but sometimes you clearly feel like you as a player, you can feel something is everything is going wrong. Like nothing is
Yeah.
going your way. And sometimes you play and you can feel like everything is going your way. I don't know, it's a gut feeling, right? That you
Yes.
just feel it. And you just feel that everything is always going not your way. You either mess up, or your opponent playing perfect, or you're getting extremely unlucky. And at this point, I'm not in control of this. So all I do is go and try my best every single time. And then I'm not responsible for the outcome. Outcome is, if I win, great. If I lose, great. I will learn, and I will keep moving, keep going. And just generally being able to say that, hey, I've played in almost half finals in all tournaments that I was participating in a year. It's already a big thing to
Amazing.
me.
Amazing.
Like,
Incredible.
You're in top
Yeah.
8
I'm
of
going,
everyone. I think you're in top 8 of everyone, if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken. Yeah.
So I was going deep in every single tournament. So it's also a great feedback for my consistency, and definitely it shows that the work that I do is right. It works, and gives me even more motivation to play again. So I didn't really, maybe a couple first finals I took it rough, but I didn't take it as a defeat. I really viewed it differently. I was sincerely happy to play in the finals over and over again, even though it's not the outcome I wanted.
Of course, absolutely. And you're putting yourself in a position to win, and these are new places that you're being, right? So it's all new to you to finally grow to even get to that position. Very few people that I know of just go to the finals and win out of nowhere. I've said my whole career when I was playing that I never learned half as much from winning a major versus losing a major, because when you lose a major, as you just touched on, I think you grow a lot more. I think you learn a lot more because you analyze yourself quite a bit more. You know you were meant to be there for a reason. I'm with you on that. I believe in that big time. I think that everything happens for a reason, and everything that you're going through is all just part of those notches on the headboard to get you where you need to be. And sooner or later, it's kind of like a flower, right? You're just growing, you're growing, growing, and then all of a sudden that
Mhm.
flower blossoms. And I think your outlook is absolutely perfect.
This break is brought to you by our sponsors.
I don't think I'm alone when I say that I love an inspirational story, and I'm about to give you one. Manuel Gonzalez Jr. was in the military, ended up going to the Vietnam War, and was tragically injured. Ended up losing his right arm and his right leg, underwent multiple surgeries. When he got out, most people didn't think he would walk, let alone do anything else. And not only did he walk, boy, he walked, but became one of the best pool players in the Denver area where he's from. And when people would come up to him and say, Manuel, sir, how do you do it? He would look directly at them and say, I control the rock. And I think it's pretty awesome. His son, Manuel Gonzalez III, is carrying the torch. He's letting everybody know his father's story, which is fascinating. Go to controltherock.com and check it out. There is a quick video on Manuel's story. You can see this book here and order it if you'd like. There's a jersey just like this and multiple others, which I absolutely love. It's controltherock.com. Manuel Gonzalez Jr. doing big things, carrying the story forward. And I, for myself, absolutely love it. Thank you guys so much. Go to controltherock.com.
I want to talk about my man, Andy Gow. He's been with the Boom and Freezer show since day one. Day one. He's also a friend of mine, and he's also a huge supporter to the world of pool. Andy Gow has been with us and also any other platform you can think of, following, sharing, like, share, and subscribe. That's his motto. So, Andy Gow, I just want to say thanks for being a supporter and a sponsor of the Boom and Freezer show. You're the man.
Here's somebody and another business that I want to talk about. It's PNW Pool Thing on Facebook. Stands for Pacific Northwest Pool Thing Stream. And it's Jesse Johnson. Jesse Johnson used to live here in Phoenix, and he's built all types of trophies. He's in the lighting business as well. But his love and his passion is pool. It's PNW Pool Thing Stream. Now, something else, I was just touching on lighting. You see that Jay Flowers sign right there? I'd say it's 2 foot by 5 foot, maybe by 4 foot. Listen, I shopped all over the globe online looking for an LED sign or some type of neon sign. LED's the way to go nowadays. This sign is dimmable. I ended up giving him a call, and in no time, this sign was done, but the price is what shocked me. Okay. I'm not making it up. You have to message PNW Pool Thing on Facebook or Instagram, PNW Pool Thing on Facebook or Instagram. His name is Jesse, and tell him the freezer sent you. Not to mention, go to PNW Pool Thing and check out their stream. It's PNW Pool Thing stream. They're streaming your greatest content every single day. They're known as the best streamers up in the Northwest. PNW, as I said, stands for Pacific Northwest. They're simply known to stream in one of the best venues I've seen. If you go on there, you're going to be hooked. You're going to see the venue, the lighting around the table, the backdrops, everything is to the nines. PNW Pool Thing on Facebook. Thank you, Jesse Johnson, for the support, and keep doing what you're doing.
Let's talk about NM Billiards. That's NM as Nick Marina Billiards. He has an office in Berlin. It's his home. He also does a lot of cool things. He has a garage where he stores pool tables as well. If you need any kind of table work in the East Coast, give him a call. He can refurbish your table. He can buy your table. He can sell your table. And he can also refelt it. So if you need any work done, check out. The link is in our bio. It's NM Billiards. It's Nick Marino. An awesome dude. He'll take care of you or whatever you need as far as table work, whether it's refurbishing the table, bringing it back to life and getting it refelted, getting it reclothed, whatever you need. Check out Nick Marino Billiards.
I have to mention my friends here in North Phoenix. It's Metro Sports Bar and Grill. David Lee, the owner, and Alfonso, they do nothing but care for this business. It's got your favorite sporting events. The minute you walk in the front door and look to the left, there is a wall of TVs, has to be upwards of 50 flat screen TVs. They've got the food you want. They've got every sporting event you're looking for. But more importantly for me, they've got 8 9-foot tables, and they're diamonds and they're blue labels. These tables are in such great condition. I don't think there's a table in the country that plays any better than all 8 of these tables. Just keeps them in perfect condition year around. And they know how to keep a table because they play themselves. They've got 9 bar tables. Yes, blue label diamond bar tables, and they do the same for those tables. This place is your destination if you like sports and you like pool. Every single night of the week, they have some type of a tournament. They have leagues there. And then on the weekends, it's run and gun. People have a blast. It's in a great location. It's in North Phoenix off the I-17 in Dunlap. Do me a favor. If you're in Phoenix, you have to check out Metro Sports Bar and Grill. Tell them the freezer sent you.
Wayne Harriman, the Sandman, doesn't get better than this guy. Wayne Harriman has been around for a long time supporting this sport and doing so many big things for it. I've seen him sponsor females for ladies events. I've seen him sponsor men that didn't have the money to play an event, whether it's locally or even a couple pro events. Wayne Harriman, the Sandman, has done a lot for pool. So thank you very much, Wayne. We appreciate you, man. Agape Sober Homes is a nonprofit organization that helps people with addictions, whether it's drug or alcohol, give them a place to live. Suad, a good pool player in his own right, is the head of the organization. And you can check out the link in the bio. It's Agape Sober Homes. And again, what they are doing is they're providing homes and places to live for people that in need, whether it's drugs or alcohol. I know everybody can talk about somebody in their family, if not themselves, that struggled with it. So many people have struggled with it in my lifetime. I've lost friends through addiction. My dad was an alcoholic. I can talk about him now. He passed away, but I remember going to Al-Anon meetings. So the addiction is real. Everybody knows about it. And what Suad is doing is fantastic. So check it out. It's Agape Sober Homes. And if you know somebody that needs help, have them contact him. Maybe he can help them out. Or if you want to volunteer, it's a nonprofit organization that helps people with addictions. Suad, great job. Agape Sober Homes. Check them out in the bio.
Now, back to the show.
Now, I know I read a little bit. Are you studying psychology at all? Or are you just into it? or anything like that? I was reading something about.
I'm into it a lot. To be honest, I started having those ideas of actually study for psychology. But I obviously with my with my schedule it might be a little tough. But I know though when somebody wants something, you will find time no matter what. I'm just maybe not there motivation wise to like really find hours and hours to do that. But I just read a lot of literature. Also, I read a lot of Russian literature, which I don't know if you're familiar with. Like, it's obviously one of the famous, and it's it touches a lot of mental aspects because of just generally how Russia, whatever it is, Soviet Union, Russia, Russian Imperia, whatever it is, people was suffering on this land forever, right? We never had a good life, if
Yeah.
we being honest. So there was always this moral things, this soul things. Like Russia is very big, believing that you have a soul. So if you have a soul, then obviously, there's a lot of things coming out of there. So just generally being also conditioned to, because we study that in school, conditioned to dive into that as a kid is crazy, because you're talking about very very hard decisions that people have to make in their lives, and betraying and dying, and dying for what they think is right when you're 14 or 15. Obviously
Yeah.
it leaves a tremendous tremendous, how to say, like not a scar, but um
Impression or impact.
impress
Yeah,
yeah,
impact for
impress.
sure.
So I really just love to study that aspect, and I don't know. I think it helped me out tremendously on a pool table, as well as I mentioned 2014. This is because I was working with my therapist the whole 2023, and we basically had the same topic over and over and over again, where I have to win. But I find ways to lose. Like like it's not possible to lose in those situations I've been, and I found ways to lose, just because I was so competitive. I wanted to win so much, and my whole identity was attached to winning. So if I didn't win, I felt like, I'm so unworthy, that I'm a terrible person, and all of that, right? So if you have this attachment to your results, that then no matter what you're going to do, you have so much pressure that you just can't handle. And that's, what was showing that I was losing in the games I'm not supposed to lose. So in 2024 is the first time I finally, because I was working and I knew this is the mindset I have to have, but now how I make it mine, how I implement that in my brain, because I know I'm supposed to think like that, but I'm still not thinking like that. Like every time it happens, I'm going back into old pattern of thinking. So yes, 2024 was the first year where I felt like, okay, now I can actually control my emotions. Like I can, my mindset changed, and it took me the whole probably year and a half to talk about it and trying over and over again, right? So this is where therapy is not like, oh, I know how I'm supposed to think, now I'm thinking like that. No.
Doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to kind of like,
It's practice. Almost, you have to work at it.
yes, you have to kind of also burn out completely, like reach the bottom of the
Mhm.
bottom mentally, where you're like, okay, you know what, I'm ready to quit everything. So at this point you're like, the old pattern doesn't work anymore. Now,
Yes.
because you've been doing the work and you kind of already know what to look for, and you kind of have this knowledge of the new mindset, and now you're trying to implement it. And now it's
Adopt it. Yeah.
yeah, but we have I think there's a very famous saying, you can't fill a full cup. You have to be empty to pour in something new, right? So this is, I think, one of the most important things, where people giving up because they're not, that the results not coming fast. But you have to work, burned out, reach the bottom, and then you will, progress. But it's very painful and very long sometimes road, and is same as a blind belief that it's going to work. You don't know it's going to work or not, but you just keep doing it, keep working.
It sounds like you credit your therapist quite a bit, and I think it's nowadays is even more important for a lot of people, no matter what your issues are or whatever you're working on. I think it's more prevalent nowadays to have some type of therapist, and I think it's done a lot. It's done everything for you, right? I mean, you credit your. It sounds like it because you've mentioned your therapist 5 to 10 times already in the show.
Yeah, she, I'm a firm believer that first of all of us are living based on the patterns that have been created in your subconscious mind when you were a kid, right? And a lot of people don't realize that we're not free, kind of like free will. You are a hostage of your own patterns, really. So knowing that, when you lose and you basically you have to be just mature, or I don't know what's the right word, to realize that you're running into the same pattern. And once you realize, hold on a second, that already happened with me over and over again. Now you realize that you are, a hostage of your this kind of like pattern, right? So in order to break it, you have to change something in your mind. How to do that? Like before I went to therapy, I've read, like during the pandemic, I've read so many books. Like I have not watched a single TV show, a single movie in this time. I was working out, practicing, and reading nonstop. And I realized, okay, I have a pattern, I have this, I have that, but I don't understand how to change it. You can't help yourself. So unless, as my dad was saying, you're trying to get a mentality that people getting at 50 at your, I'm like, I realize that I'm trying to jump over, but okay, maybe I'm going to get the right mentality when I'm 30, but I don't want to live my whole life till I'm 50 to
Right.
realize that, oh, in a second,
The
I don't
50
like who
though.
I am. Somebody never reach even this mentality at 50,
Yeah.
so I don't want to wait. I want to do something to help myself to be who I want as fast as I can. So a lot of people don't like therapy. They think it's, waste of money, whatever, but I think just therapist is like a doctor for your mind. When you're ill, you go into a doctor, you're not trying to cure yourself, you're not trying to say, oh, it's going to pass, right? You're going to a doctor if something
Yeah.
hurts.
This is what I
So
love. This is what I love about this show is we know I know you, Christina. I've known you a long time, but we don't really know you, right? And so this is
Big
what I love about this show. We actually get into the person and get to really know the person. And your intelligence is incredible, right? You're obviously beautiful, but that has nothing to do with your abilities and your intelligence and your work ethic and coming from your father. Everything put together really tells us who you are as a person. And that's what I love. That's what this show is all about, in my opinion.
yeah,
I
I
agree.
think it's really cool what you do guys with players, and it helps other people to kind of dive into a champion's mentality,
Mhm.
where you know you realize that it's not a coincidence. Some people are top.
Sure.
So I think it's really cool that you do that. I agree.
That's good. Yeah, my daughter actually is a therapist. She just started her practice actually last week. She got her license, so she's doing that. So we believe in it big time. It does. It helps a lot. She's just to have somebody to talk to and express herself. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
It's pretty cool.
All right, let's talk about pool. So 2024, you're going to therapy. You're figuring it all out, right? And you're playing in the World 10 ball. You're in the finals again. And obviously you're second a bunch of times. You finally win. Let's talk about that win when you're on the floor crying. Let's talk about how you felt.
Soa.
Yeah, CSO,
Soa.
your arch rival, right?
Yeah. Actually, just thinking about it makes my palm wet. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah.
Like I was mentioning in one of the shows, I think that till day now, I did not rewatch the finals because even though I watched every single game of mine, I just can't mentally like put
Too
myself in this
much.
situation again. Yes, because
Yeah.
the amount of stress
Yeah.
and emotional roller coaster I went through in this specific match, it's too much even for me. Like I even
Yeah.
2 years from now, what a year, how much? 2 years.
Yeah.
I 2 years, 1.5 years, I still can't like get myself to do that. How stressed
Understandable.
Yeah, of course.
Understandable.
this it was a matter of not skills at all. Obviously skills, she's an amazing player, I have a lot of skills, but this match was whoever's going to stand last, kind of like survive the mental war. Because obviously she had to win, and I'm not delusional. She had to win, and she beat herself in this final. And all I had to do is fight my own demons and
Yeah,
just stay there and keep fighting and hoping that she will lose to herself faster than I will lose to myself.
that's crazy. I've been
So,
there.
yes. And
Actually,
this
that
year,
happens at this level.
yeah. And this, I think this year, or like last year, like last finals that we had, was completely different because we both played a lot better, and also a lot of people asking, like, kind of talking ahead. I'm sure you would have a question about that as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I feel like this year was very different because we both kind of like been there, and we knew. I think I knew that it's not going to be the same as the last year. I knew she's going to play a lot better, and she's going to be a lot more well prepared mentally, to start with, because she's a great player. She was a great player a lot like 2024, but again, mentally, she was not there. She was not ready to win, and um, I think this year I had to win. To be honest, like I feel like I've played really well, and I obviously all of us made couple like mistakes, but generally overall, I feel like I was there more than her. But then again, something happened, and nerves, and she was destined to win, and I kind of felt like it's my payback to her for her losing to me last year, and this year I'm gonna lose to her. So it's really crazy when I think about missing a bowl for $25,000. But I don't know why it felt so
I know that
different this.
feeling. I
Yeah.
know that feeling.
It felt so different losing the finals this time. Obviously, I was a little upset the first like couple hours, but my old me, I would not leave a room for a week. I wouldn't talk. I wouldn't. I would be completely destroyed.
Yeah.
But I felt so different this time, and I didn't even think I could feel like that. It's almost like a gratitude, and I was sincerely happy for her. And this is why when I made a Facebook post, like, it was not just fishing for. I was sincerely happy for her because I saw her reaction, and I saw her last year, like 2024, like how she was trying to withhold her tears, like an award ceremony. And I know the feeling. Like, I've been there. I know how
Yeah.
painful it is. So last year, I was like, I don't know. She's not my friend or anything. Like, we don't talk, or
But
we
you
don't
have a
communicate.
bond.
Yeah.
You have a bond because
It's
you've
a
been to
weird
battle
bond.
together.
Yeah,
Yes,
where I'm just happy to be part of it, and now I think we're a forever bond. Where
absolutely.
Yeah.
You
she
will
won,
be.
I won, and I was sincerely happy because I know she puts a lot of work in. Also, she's extremely disciplined and hardworking, and she had an incredible year. She won two big tournaments, I think Predator events, right? And I I think she just deserved it. You know, it's weird where I was sincerely happy for her, like kind of projecting her on me, like kind of my way, my I don't know, it's weird feeling. It's almost like it's me, but
It's
it's
so
not me.
crazy. Yeah.
You have that personality. I remember when we talked Moscone in Florida when you just after you won your world title, and you had the same demeanor. You're almost too good of a person. Like I try to ask you about your world title, and you switch it over to her winning the world title. I want to talk about you winning the world title when you were on the floor crying.
Yeah, but
Right.
what I have to say it,
I
but
know.
what she's talking about,
Yeah.
can only kind of relate to that, Bobby, if you've really been there. And I think
Okay.
it's a crazy thing what she's talking about. Most players don't elaborate on it. They don't touch on
Yeah.
that. But I think who did we have that was real good mentally that won the PLP last year? Moritz.
Mort's Newhausen.
He
Yeah.
kind of touched on that a little bit, but she's brushed on it more than anybody, and it's
Yeah.
something almost impossible to explain what she just touched on, because you talk about psychology, it's extremely deep, but you can feel these emotions when you're actually playing. Like, you don't have to talk to the other person. You don't ever have to talk to the other
Yep.
person. But you have this bond, and I guarantee you, Co Soa feels exactly like she does. And so it's for me as a player, that stuff there that she's touching on, it gives me goosebumps. Like, it's crazy because I've been there, right? And I've never talked to Alex Pagulayan about the 6-day battle we had or this or that, but I know he probably feels the same way. That's why I kind of really like what she's talking about. Now, I don't know that everybody can understand or relate what that is, but it's pretty deep stuff. And I think that that's actually the beauty of what she does, the beauty of the sport, that a lot of people kind of overlook. That's the only reason I want to bring it up.
Yeah. No, that's great. Great site there. Like, like I said, I'm just trying to figure from a fan, somebody outside the business that covers it, seeing her win that title, I know how much it meant to her psychologically. Said she was on the floor. You had to be emotional. Could you just talk a little bit about that when you finally won? Did you say, I did it? That's it? I finally did it. What were your thoughts when you finally won your first world title?
To be honest, I couldn't believe it's happening. I almost had to pinch myself a couple times to make sure I'm not dreaming, because also it was very unexpected. I was very burned out by the end of the year, and to be honest, I felt like if I'll go to and out, I'm going on the beach because we were in Puerto Rico. I'm like, I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to use this time to get ready for a new year. So I had zero expectations, and every game also I did not play my best game, and I was kind of every game was a struggle. Like I don't recall a single game where I just won easily. So maybe like when I played quarterfinals with Wei Wei, like I played decent, but the first set I was down like 3-1. I battled back, and then I broke in right on a hill, and it was so tough. Like every ball is almost like it's 100-pound ball, and I have to lift it every time I make it. I can't explain it. Like something was not right with sometimes you play and you feel like your hand is not your hand, like it's somebody else's hand. Like I don't have a feeling of my hand. You don't have a feeling of your timing. You don't have a feeling of the touch of the cue ball. Sometimes you play and you feel the shot with every cell of your body, like you
Yeah.
just go on peak, like you just feel everything. And sometimes it's so blurry. It's like I'm doing the right thing, I know what I'm doing, but it doesn't feel right. And this is where it can mess up with your mind so much and with your confidence, because and that's what happened to me, you know so many times before, where it's almost like if I feel bad, it's almost like I don't even want to win anymore because I don't deserve to win because I'm not playing good. This is something also I had to battle with, which is absolutely crazy, where I'm like, I don't deserve to win. I play too bad. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So then this Alex Pagulayan, like many, many years ago, maybe 2018, told me everyone can win when they play bad. What about winning when you're playing? Everyone can win when they're playing good. What about winning when you play bad? And I don't know why they stick to, like, one time he told me that it stick in my mind so much, because at some point I'm like, you know what? I might play bad and I still can try my best. There's nothing wrong about it, right? I can play bad and I can still win. In the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you play good or bad. So it's the easiest thing to give up when you play bad. You're like, you know what, today's not my day, whatever. What about not finding a ways and finding, I don't know, those little tools how to fix yourself while you're in a game, while you're in a tournament. And this is what I've been doing the full world championships. I've been just over and over again just trying my best. And I was talking to my dad every day, whining that, "Oh, I don't understand what is wrong with my stroke. It doesn't feel right. Am I doing something wrong?" He's like, just try your best. Every game, and your best is going to be obviously very different every day, but just like try your best. So if you lose, at least you're not feeling guilty for not trying, right? Because I feel like all of us pool players know how it feels when you know that you could have tried more and you didn't. And it just, this feeling is terrible. So to avoid this feeling, at least I'll do everything I can. This is exactly what happened. Every game, I just never gave up, because most of the matches I lost my first set, and then I had to battle back. Almost every single game that I won, every single match. So that, coming to the finals, I already struggled for the whole week, basically, right?
That's
And
common.
You're
It's
battling
common.
the whole time.
yes, I was battling the whole time, and I didn't expect anything from myself because I was not playing my best game, right? But if I look back, if I watch my games back, I'm like, you didn't play bad. Obviously you've made a couple of mistakes, but it's not like, as your brain, tells you that you played terrible, but in reality you didn't. You still ran out in the right moment. You were making the right shots in the right moment, and that's what it matters in the end of the day. So coming to the finals, I was very exhausted mentally, and also not like being at my peak of my form almost. I don't know. So starting, I was missing easy shots. I was just not there. Not even mentally, but physically. Like I don't know, something was off with my stroke or something, and with my feelings. And instead of my old pattern where I would be sitting and being in a victim mode, thinking, "Oh my God, in the most important moment of my life, I'm feeling like this. Why it's happening
Nah,
to me?" And blah blah blah. Instead of being this, I was like, you know what? I accept that I feel like that right now. What can we do now to try to earn the chance to win? What I have to do. So I've changed a little bit, some things, I started to play a little faster, because I have a problem of becoming like playing slowlier to try to play better and more perfect, but I ended up screwing my own rhythm. So I'm
Overthink
like,
a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
So to think about a little, yeah, but to think about shots you're not supposed to think, and this is like sometimes a lot of players like go into where I'm going to try so hard right now, and you're screwing yourself up, because you don't have to try hard. You have to try to find your rhythm. You have to try to find where you feel your best. And so like I speed up a little bit my game. I changed a little bit of things while I was playing. And yeah, I was just battling myself, not giving up, because it's so easy to give up. So
I,
easy.
I, I cover on what you're saying, and you might not know this, right? Because you're in the middle of it, you're playing, you're in the prime of your career. But I cover, obviously, I commentate, and so I cover event from start to finish. And then I've also been on the other end where I've played events from start to finish. And I would say 90% of the time, the player that wins the event did not play their best pool. So don't feel, you probably know that,
Yeah.
right? But this is common. It's almost impossible. Federer was very good at it, I'll say that. And Federer was very good at it, but he's struggling now. Yap is probably the best I've seen being able to play their game under these scenarios, but very few people can constantly play their best pool, because what you just said is really what it is. You go through so many periods of stress through that event. By the time anybody gets to the end, you're just drained. You're drained. Your opponent's drained. You're drained. So it's very, very difficult to play your best pool. I don't know that that'll ever happen for you. I don't know. Hopefully it does. I don't. I never won. I won all my majors that I wanted to win playing one pocket, every one of them. I never played my best game, not even close on any of those. And that battle that you struggled with, and where you made that decision to just accept it, hopefully you do that going forward, because it's very difficult to find that peak performance, that stroke, that rhythm where your timing around the table is perfect and everything. Hopefully you continue to do that.
Yeah, I think we had Fran and David on. Obviously David's not a senior of the game, but he's been around a long time, and they both said the same thing. They've won when they didn't play well, but they also played their best in their rhythm and lost because that's the way this game is sometimes, right?
Yeah.
You know, So and we get that, and that's a great point, Scott. Good job. All right, so you're playing, you find your rhythm, and you're getting ready to make the last ball, the 10 ball. What are we thinking?
I was just not, it's very tough, to be honest, to kind of realize what about to happen, and you're still not there because as you Scott said, you both exhausted, and I played semifinals for almost 4 hours, and then the finals were like 5 hours, and it's a constant grind. It's race to four. You can relax even for a second, and by the time you're like pocketing your last ball, you first of all you're absolutely exhausted physically, absolutely exhausted, and mentally you're just so drained. I don't know if you ever experienced where you feel so much pressure that your body just can't handle it anymore, and your mind almost like whispering in your like in your ear, like just give up, just shake the hand and leave. Like
Oh yeah.
when you feel so much stress, you just want to quit. Like I just want it to be
You want to
over.
be anywhere but there. You want to be anywhere but there, right?
At this moment, you're like, you know what? As long as it's gonna be over, it's gonna be fine. Sorry.
Yeah,
As long as it's
no,
over,
yeah.
I just want it to be over. So this is how I felt like episodes obviously of the finals. I just felt like I just wanted to be over. So when I was shooting the ball, I was excited. It's about to be over, but also like I could not like really like
Process.
believe it's happening. Yes.
Yeah.
So it was just very
Well,
very draining.
it's unbelievable that you talk about that so much because you've won so much in your career, right? You're a junior world champion, right? I think you won 7 European tours and 8, right? Euro, the other tournaments, right? You seem like you're winning everything, but you're still feeling that. Is that mainly world championships, or do you feel it more when you get to the finals of every event?
No, it's just probably the world championships, and because it's
The big majors.
obviously,
Yeah.
yeah, it is something that you know everyone is dreaming about. Obviously, winning world games or something. But world title is something that stays with you forever, and this is also something I'm struggling a little bit about mentally because I felt like I have a big name, I have a lot of achievements, and I've won a lot of things, but I don't have this world title, like where I would really feel like I deserve to have everything I have. It's also really weird because I've been struggling with imposter syndrome for a very long time. I don't know if you know what it is.
Say the word again.
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome.
Yes.
What is this?
So it's when you having all of that, like titles and achievements, but your brain tricking you into believing that it's not true. Like it's you got lucky to win. Like in reality, you're not as good as you think and
Oh
stuff
well,
like
I have it. I have it then.
Yeah.
I have syndrome.
so it's like, do I really deserve to have this raise? Do I really deserve to have this big of a contract? Because it's like it's almost like my name is not as big as it in my head. So it's just really weird.
Interesting. I'm gonna
So
look into that.
Kristina, you do. Okay. You deserve it.
thank you.
You do.
Like no matter how much people is telling you how powerful your mind is, it's no matter who's gonna tell me what. If you have that, like have very like let's say very low self-esteem, you can be the most beautiful person in the world, and like
Sure.
I know like one of my best like good friends, she's literally one of the best like looking girl I've ever seen. Like if I
Yeah.
wouldn't be straight, I would go be going after her
Yeah.
100%. And like everywhere we go, every man is looking at her. but she has a low self-esteem where she's like looking at her pictures, she's like, oh my God, I look terrible. She looks like Angelina Jolie, I swear to God.
Yeah.
And because your mind is so powerful, it can trick you into believing anything. And this is actually something I also wanted to mention before, where if you can believe in bad things, if your mind can trick you into believing that you're not worth enough, you don't deserve that, you're blah blah blah, you're not gonna make it, you're just a loser, then you can train your mind to believe in something else. Like if you can believe in this, which has nothing to do with reality, then you can trick yourself to believe in anything, right? You can trick yourself to believe
Absolutely.
that you are the most, I don't know, you're a golden child and you're going to win and you're going to be the best ever played in the game, right? You can believe in anything you want, right? And this is actually also something I've read in one of the books, golf, like one of a golf teacher, the trainer, he was saying something like one of the, I don't remember the names, but one of the like best golf players ever lived, not Tiger Woods, like before, generation before him,
Hmm.
he was that, imagine that you meet the God, and the God tells you that you're going to be the most successful golf player ever lived on earth. But he left you before you were able to ask when it's going to happen. So you have this confidence in you that it's going to happen. You're going to be one of the best in the world. So all you have to do is just keep working. And 100% there's no doubt you're going to get there. So imagine how powerful it is when you know that it's going to work 100%. When it's not just blind belief, but and it's extremely powerful because you can really trick your brain into thinking into anything. So why wouldn't we use that as a tool? Because it's already being used in a bad way, right? Again, being believed in all of that. And especially, nowadays that we live, we're surrounded by so much negative, so much bad information, politics, new disease, I don't know, immigration, all of that. And so what if you're gonna trick yourself to believe in something else?
That's so crazy. I've been saying this forever. Like, once you have the ability, literally 60 to 70, maybe 80% of the sport becomes mental once your ability is there. And I've told people for years, you have to trick your brain. You've constantly got to trick your mindset. You've got to trick it because your mindset wants to go negative more than it wants to go positive. So you've constantly got, I'm a pretty positive person. Most people don't realize that. Like, I never get depressed. I'm just being honest. I don't get depressed. I never stop moving. But when I was your age, I was constantly struggling with that, constantly. So I would constantly tell myself, I would trick my brain. The reason I got where I got, or the reason I achieved what I achieved, is from tricking my brain. That's it. It's serious. It's seriously, that's it. Because you're going to put the work in otherwise. Like, Kristina's working every day. She's training every day. She's reading every day. She's doing everything she can. So what can stop Kristina? Kristina can stop Kristina. That's all that can stop her. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
This break is brought to you by our sponsors. It's Hilltop Promotions. That's right, Hilltop Promotions. Know the name, hear it out. Hilltop Promotions. It's Steven Tucker and Joe Furtado. These guys are bringing back the 80s, 90s, all the way to the present. They are from Anderson, South Carolina, and they have built a one-on-one venue unlike any other. What their idea is to start out is they're going to take two players, let's say from the 90s, like Tommy Kennedy and Johnny Archer in the finals of the U.S. Open. Tommy Kennedy won that match, right? It was one of the most talked about U.S. Open events of all time. They're still talking about that event. They want to take two players like that and throw them in a ring head to head and let them battle it out for big, big money. And I think that this format is absolutely insane. Guaranteed 10,000 for first place, and the winner continues forward. Okay, and that's where it's really key. Second place, or if you don't win, you're guaranteed 5,000, all expenses paid. These guys are for real, no joke. It's going to happen. They've already got the venue done, and it is incredible. It's Hilltop Promotions, Steven Tucker and Joe Furtado. They're looking to bring back the 90s, okay? All the way to the future. They're going to have elite players from this generation, from the past, But what they're trying to do is take these players from major finals and butt them up head to head so the loser has a chance at revenge. Hilltop Promotions. Keep an eye out for them.
I'm going to take a minute here to talk about In the Box. Now, In the Box, Elvis has been with us since day one. He's a huge supporter to the world of pool, but not only that, he has great products. For one, look at this banner behind us. That was done by him. That's the Boom and Freezer Show. But he also can get you some shirts. If you need APA shirts, UPL League shirts, any other shirts you need for your teams or any other sporting event, you can check out Elvis. That's inthebox.com. The link is in our bio. Check them out. They do great stuff. You can get your names on them, you can get your names on the side. He also personalizes a lot of shirts and stuff like that. So if you have something special you want on it, let him know. He can make it look amazing. So check it out. That's inthebox.com. The link is in the bio. And Elvis, tell him the Boom and Freezer sent you. You might even get a discount.
Going to talk about a pool room that really needs no introduction, but this pool room is talked about all over the country, if not all over the globe. I don't know anybody that's sponsoring and representing more players than these people, but it's David and Leah Bartosiak. This room is in South Florida. This room is called Classics. That's right. It's Classic Billiards. I'll tell you what, they've got 9,300 square feet and it's plush with diamond tables, bar tables, 9-footers. But one key feature that I'm personally in love with is a technologically advanced arena, and it's called the Aramith Arena. He's holding major events there, the PLP with Matchroom, one-on-ones. He had the Spanish Open with the 3-on-3s. He's doing it all. But this venue and this arena is second to none and dear to my heart because he's got an actual commentary platform and booth with windows that you can sit up there and work from. And me, personally, to call the games, I love it. Classic Billiards in South Florida, 9,300 square feet, full of the best tables on the planet, and the environment is second to none. Dave is not the church type going guy. He's the type of guy to let it rip. He likes to yell, likes to scream, likes to have fun. The vibe in this business is something I've never experienced before. And that's the vibe that he's trying to create all over the world. And I think he can do it. Dave is a leader. I love him like a brother. It's Classic Billiards in South Florida. And one last thing, don't forget the chicken wings. The honey barbecue chicken wings are truly the best chicken wings I've ever had in my life. And Shane Van Boning can confirm that. Classic Billiards in South Florida. We absolutely love you. Thank you so much.
Tommy's Tattoo Supply is probably one of the largest tattoo supplies companies in the world. And you can check out the link. It's on our bio. That's Tommy's Supplies, Tommy's Tattoo Supplies. This guy's everything you need from tattoos, from ink to tattoo guns, to any other products you need for tattoos. He's got this great color ink as well. You got to check it out. That's Tommy's Supplies. I'm telling you, he's an awesome dude. But not only that, he's very smart, and he's got a great company. And if you have anything to do with tattoos, whether you're a tattoo company or just an artist, you got to check out his website and check him out. I promise you won't be dissatisfied. He'll take care of you, whatever you need. That's Tommy Supplies. Check out the link. We appreciate it, Tommy. Thank you very much.
Now, back to the show.
Let's have a little fun. Just want some quick answers. I just got a couple of questions for you. You don't have to go into long, things. Just tell me some quick answers. What was your toughest match?
Finals of the
World Championship. And then the next one's going to be biggest win. Was that probably the biggest win too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then we got toughest opponent all time.
You.
Okay. Do you just struggle with her psychologically or just?
She's just very. Maybe Hanyu and Rita Chow. It's just, I don't know why. It's just a tough for me.
Okay. What's your favorite game?
10 ball.
10 ball. What's your favorite tournament to play in? Like you get excited about this tournament's coming up. I want to do this. What tournament do you want to play in?
Probably Vegas. Tournament in Vegas. The Predator. Yeah.
One's coming up in February or just?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's your goal for this year? What do you got going on? What's your biggest goal? I mean, you obviously already won the world title. And shout out to you. Congratulations on your nice win at the Oldhausen. As Scott was saying earlier, Iron City, congratulations. How does that going to help you as well start the year off with a huge win? What's your goal and how does it feel? How is that going to help you?
Um, Definitely, it's a great boost of confidence. Especially, I wanted so bad to win when my dad is here and watching live, and it was very, meant a lot for me and for him at the same time. Probably the goal is to keep, working and keep going deep into tournaments, giving myself a chance to win one of them. This is how I see it, and obviously, I'd love to win a world championship because I feel like the title was stolen from me. Now I feel like I really want to put myself in a situation where I might have a chance to win it again. And I don't know. I feel this kind of weird energy with world championships because I want to. My goal is to have to win more than anybody else did. I don't know why.
Be
It's
careful with
just a
that.
weird.
You know that,
I
right?
know.
Be careful with that. Be really careful with that. Try to get rid of that. Try to somehow get
Yes,
rid of that.
but yeah, but just generally the goal is to keep enjoying the game and keep growing. And honestly, I feel very fortunate to have a life that I do. I really feel that way, and to be able to travel around the world and compete and make living out of it, it's definitely already a win, the biggest win in my life. So just being able to maintain that is the biggest goal.
We touched on a bunch of things already. I want to touch. You mentioned two or three times. Scott and I always talk about it with all the guests that we have. From Boosty to everybody. How do you handle that travel? It's you said you enjoy traveling, you like traveling. How do you handle it? Because it's a lot of flights, right? It's a lot of different booking hotels, and how do you deal with that psychologically? And is that fun? Do you still like it, or is it kind of more of a burden now?
Yeah, it's very tough, to be honest. I am not gonna lie. It's something I dreamed about my entire life, but once I'm conditioned to do that, it very different. It's very different. But as Scott said that, you're trying to trick your brain all the time, and this is exactly what I do. I keep the gratitude there. I feel like this is also one of the most of the powerful tools where I'm just viewing it as how fortunate I am. Every time I take a trip, I'm think about how many people wish to go
Very good.
there.
Absolutely.
Helps me,
So,
yes, and also acceptance that this is my job and this is my life and I've chosen it. Nobody else forcing me into that. And while it's tough, obviously, you're trying to, fight time and everything, but you're fortunate to do that because most of people will never experience the jet lag or never will experience dehydration after a 16-hour flight. So I'm just trying to change my perspective a little bit and being more grateful for what I have and experiences in my life.
Great answer.
a couple other things real quick. Now, being a pool player is a little bit more than just being a pool player now. You have to do social media, you have to run your own business, and you do a great job with that. You sell cue balls, you're always you're always doing something. That's a whole nother level. That's like another job, right? How do you do that? And are you doing that yourself right now? Are you having any help with that? 'Cause it's not easy.
I do everything myself, and it's. I think a lot of people don't realize that it's really tough. And the easiest thing you can do right now is playing pool. It's the easiest to
Yeah.
Yeah.
travel, and hardest is trying to make good living out of it because I've always been super ambitious about my life, and I
Yeah.
feel like I've been working hard since I was a kid,
Right.
and
Trying
I
to make
don't want to
money and
have
be
an
successful, right? Trying to make money and be
exactly
successful. Yeah.
average person. Like I've worked my ass off my entire life. I want to have a good life, you know, and this is where I put a lot on myself, because I also do a lot of coaching. I have a training program, and then I do try to do social media. And I know I haven't been really really good into social media because I need to like hire someone like Federer did, and I think it's one of the smartest thing that you could do as a pool player is try to build
Yeah.
a brand, try to build a
Yeah.
legacy, try to build. something much more. And you can see that it works in other sports. Like, I don't know if you follow women tennis, like Arina Sabalenka, the first racket in the world right now. She just signed a contract with Emirates, which they never ever sponsored individual player on top of
I
individual
just
athlete
saw
on
that ad.
top
I
of
just saw an ad. Yeah.
that. So why? Because she built a really big brand. Obviously, pool is not tennis, but maybe it will be one day. And I'm not saying I want to sign with Emirates, right? But it might also open new doors for me, new doors for our sport to build a brand. Like, um, I think it's really smart. So I think it's this is what I would one of my goals as well is to grow social media and to be able to balance being an athlete but also being almost like an influencer, right? It's a very fine line and it's very tough to balance and find time to do that, to be
It's a
honest. Like
it's
it's
a lot of
I
work.
feel
It's a
burnt
lot
out
of
all the
work.
You know, one of the
Yeah.
it
biggest
is full.
problems, though, is sorry, Christina. One of the biggest problems is, though, NFL players, golfers, basketball players, NBA players, all the elite sports in America, these guys all have agents or managers. In
Yes.
pool, I don't care how much money, if she's making $1 million a year, it's still very tough to find a manager in that niche because they're not educated in what we do. So it's not like they're not in every city where they are for pro athletes in basketball, baseball, football, soccer, whatever it might be. So that's really the problem is she's carrying this load herself, right? And so she's got to manage that time properly. Federer did do it. Federer got a little fortunate as well, though. He has good people in his corner that are very organized and able to put things together and direct him in this direction and direct him in that direction. It's very hard for any of these elite players to find that.
And also someone you can trust and someone
Yes.
you respect, and it's a lot going to that. And this is why I'm also a freak, like a control freak. And I think if you want to have a job done good, do it yourself,
Yeah.
because every time I try to put it on someone, it takes a lot more energy to double check if they're doing it right. So I'd rather do it myself until I find someone. But I did have actually, one of my, she was my best friend and my manager in the same time, extremely intelligent woman. But unfortunately, she passed away. But now it's figuring everything out on your own and educating yourself on that, how to market yourself, what brand to build, and what is your identity. And it's a lot to it, and it takes literally your whole day. This is why when people's like, what is your hobby? My hobby is trying to make money, I guess. Educate myself how to make more money, how to promote myself, how to do stuff like that. It's very tough. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you've got 47,000 followers on Facebook. That's pretty good, right? I know you want to consider to grow that, but if people want to go there, please go there. Kristina, the Krystal, Tkach. How did you get your how did you get your nickname?
This is actually what sometimes I get some hate about it, where you don't give yourself a nickname. But I've done that because people started to give me nicknames that I just like Russian princess, or like Ice Queen, and all this. First of all, I didn't want to be related to anyhow to my nationality, like directly. I'm not gonna say it out loud, but we all know why. And also, it's just not cool. It's not marketable, and being also associated with like a beauty and stuff, it's not what I wanted to, have my nickname for. So I gathered like a couple of friends. I did a poll on Facebook, and I gathered a couple of my girlfriends together, and like, we have to come up with something, because this is exactly what Jeanette Lee did, and I think is genius. So people can give you as much hate as they want, but you got to do your job. You're gonna do you. So the whole concept of Krystal is obviously it's cold, and it's very like, kind of sharp.
Unbreakable. Sharp,
Yeah,
unbreakable.
unbreakable, sharp.
Yep.
So
Yep.
like when I play, a lot of people say I'm very cold as ice. I'm not expressing a lot of emotions, but people who know me know that I express a lot of emotions. It's just not like regular emotions. I can bite my lip or like look up, but it's not obviously as some other players. So a lot of people view me as a very cold player where I don't express a lot of emotions, right? Being cold as ice, like a crystal, right? So also it's kind of like icy and it's blue and it's transparent, which kind of reflects back to my nationality, like being Russian, right? And also it is unbreakable. It is very resilient, and it's also beautiful in its own way. So it has a lot into it, and I felt like it does. Like if I explain it to someone, it would make a lot of sense why Krystal, right? If you don't understand the history behind it, might be weird, like why Krystal, but also it sounds really familiar with my name, Kristina Krystal.
Yeah, it
So
goes well. Goes
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
that's why.
All right. Last question before I let you go. And I don't know if Scott has anything else, but what do you want everybody out there to know about Kristina Tkach that they may not know? What do you want the whole world to
I'm
know?
not mean, okay? A lot of people think
Yeah.
I'm mean because when I play, I'm very focused and I have such a strong RBL face. It's unbelievable. Like I know when I play, I look very mean, I look very unfriendly, and a lot of people are scared to even come talk to me because they think I'm mean, but I'm not mean. I'm just,
Kristina, I've
You are
dealt with
not.
the same thing my whole life. My whole life. I'm not mean either, but people are always intimidated, and I don't know why. So I'm glad people know that you're not mean, but I never thought you were mean. I don't know.
Well, because you know me also personally, a lot of people who
Yeah.
never met me, and this is what I have a lot. I hear a lot when people watch my matches and stuff like that. They think I'm very like Russian serious, but when they actually meet me, they're like, "Oh, you're a lot nicer in person than I thought." So I hear it all the time. That's why I want to
Yeah.
put it out there. I'm not mean. I don't
Good.
mind if people come talk to me. So I'm actually a very, very nice person. So.
Well, I'm going to say it. I don't know. I hate saying this because I don't want to make other people that we've had on the show feel bad, but you've been amazing. You're like very polished from top to bottom. Obviously, I thought you were an intelligent person, but you're much more intelligent than I actually thought. So I'm thrilled to have had you on the show, and just want to say thank you very much for doing it.
Well, thank you for giving me opportunity to share a little bit of me with other people.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. All right, Kristina, thanks again. We really appreciate you, and we'll look forward to see your 2026.
Before we go, a big thank you to our sponsors who make this show possible: Jay Flowers, Classic Billiards, Tommy's Tattoo Supply, Nick Marino Billiards, Metro Sports Bar, Anytime Billiards, Control the Rock, Agape Sober Homes, Wayne Harriman, Andy Gao, In the Box, PNW Pool Thing, and Hilltop Promotions.